value scale in a sense of we still want to have a variety of lights and darks just in the drawing to give it that sense of 3D reality. So we want, a variety of tones. Okay. And again, my vantage point is going to be a little different than yours, just, because of the nature of it. So you don't really want to copy what I do. Plus, you'll have slightly different looking, apples, or whatever. It's not going to be exactly the same ones that I have here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the banana out of the way. We want to talk about scale. Scale and proportion are kind of interchangeable terms. Just how big is one thing compared to something else? Well, there's two types of scale. There's internal scale, which is how big is something compared to itself. And then there's external scale, how big is something compared to something next to it. So essentially, what we're trying to do is you're trying to compare the size of this object to this object, and then of course, to the banana. So one thing you can do is you can use your pencil as a way of doing like little kind of measuring scale proportion comparisons. So you can kind of just put the flat end of the pencil and then your thumb to represent the other side. You can do it, vertically, you can do it horizontally, and then you can take it over to the other object and compare, this is how wide the apple was. How does that compare to, say, how wide maybe like the base of the pear is, or how tall, something is compared to something else. Things like that, sort of like height to width. You can also look at angles. So you can, what we talked about with angles, you can see that there's an angle created between the height of the pear and the apple. So you can also kind of use that to compare sizes and things like that as well. When you have all sort of three objects together, you can almost imagine that they're inside a fence or a box. The term that you hear a lot is called the envelope. But essentially, if you can imagine a border around these objects, kind of going from the highest point to the highest point. So you're kind of imagining, so if I were to put a black string